If you suffer from anxiety attacks, scientists say this trick may help you.
Before we begin, do us a favor and click that like button. Also subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to be inspired by these inspiring stories every day.
As you're going about your daily business, an unusual feeling suddenly washes over you, causing your body to shake. Before you know it, you're struggling to breathe as well, which indicates that you're in the grip of an anxiety attack. To help battle those symptoms, a group of scientists went on to unveil a simple trick in 2019. While it's vital for us to maintain our physical health, our emotional well-being is just as important. After all, the brain is like any other organ in our body, so we have to look after it. But in recent times, some eye-opening statistics have come to light regarding the number of people with mental health issues. Unfortunately, there will be times when an anxiety attack is hard to avoid. Whether it's due to a test at school or a presentation at work, it's quite natural to have those nerves. However, if the anxiety continues to persist for a longer period, there might be a bigger issue at play. Anxiety disorders can turn a person's world upside down, as they find themselves at odds with their own mind. These conditions can trigger issues such as panic attacks, heart palpitations, and a number of other worrying problems. It's a mental illness that can affect people in different ways depending on their situation. Although social anxiety disorder isn't as harrowing as PTSD can be, it's still a problematic mental condition. As the name suggests, it causes the person to worry about certain communal interactions and how they're being perceived by those around them. On that note, simple activities can become very difficult. Away from that, generalized anxiety disorder is one other issue to consider when discussing this topic. Unlike the previously mentioned conditions, this mental ailment is increasingly broad, leading the sufferer to worry about things for no real reason. That can, understandably, take its toll on a person in the long term. The post read, "When someone confronts a dangerous situation, two brain circuits become active and relay sensory information about the danger, such as the sight and smell of fire, to different parts of the brain. One circuit extends to the cerebral cortex. The other circuit involves a deeper structure called the amygdala that's central to emotional processing. The amygdala monitors the body's reaction to the environment," the Harvard Health Post continued. "It also evaluates an event's emotional significance and organizes responses that a person may or may not be conscious of." At that stage, another interesting fact about the brain circuit came to light on the medical website. After laying the groundwork, the website then delved into the internal intricacies of anxiety and how it works. The amygdala also works with other brain structures to store emotional memories, the Harvard Health Post revealed. This includes memories of frightening events. In people with anxiety disorders, however, this can be a problem. Deep, controlled breathing also ties to an additional technique, as we're about to discover. Due to the intense symptoms that can sometimes arise in an anxiety attack, the sufferer might mistake their condition for something else. For instance, they could believe that they're having a heart attack if they start to experience chest palpitations. However, if the person can get their breathing under control, they can then take stock of what's happening. For you see, once the sufferer knows that they're experiencing an anxiety attack, it quells the previous worries. These symptoms subsequently ease off as a result, and thanks to a simple change of mindset. In a similar vein to the breathing tip, there's also a method that advises you to relax your muscles during a panic attack. As we stated earlier, our bodies tense up in times of concern, thanks to the amygdala. Yet for people with anxiety, this can happen whenever one of the aforementioned episodes kicks in. To help ease the tension then, sufferers are advised to loosen up certain muscles one after the other. For example, they could relax their fingers to begin with, before focusing on some of their bigger extremities. It's a simple technique and can do wonders for people in the throes of an anxiety attack. From touching the material of your clothes to feeling the carpet beneath you, these simple actions can help pull you back into normality. Some anxiety attacks have the power to cause mental detachment, so this tip might solve that particular problem going forward. And the techniques don't end there. During times of great stress, then some people like to imagine themselves in a different location altogether. In fact, many people have a happy place that they like to visit in their minds, as it can prove quite soothing. And believe it or not, this idea can help combat the effects of an anxiety attack. Alongside that, one more method might be helpful for anxiety sufferers in the future. While we've mentioned exercise and finding your happy place, you could also physically remove yourself from the room or building that you find yourself in. By doing that, you can release some of the tension in your body instead of letting it get on top of you. However, in December 2019, a group of experts unveiled a new technique to the world. Their method was revealed in a study for the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences journal. And much like some of the other suggestions that we've shared, thus far it's a fairly straightforward idea. Odriozola said, "A safety signal could be a musical piece, a person, or even an item like a stuffed animal that represents the absence of threat." The researchers came to this conclusion at the end of their study, following tests on both humans and mice, and the experiment itself was fascinating. When dealing with the human test subjects, the scientists kicked things off by giving them a shape to look at. This first object was meant to represent a threatening outcome to the individual. At that point, the participants were then shown a second shape, which correlated with a non-threatening outcome. From there, Odriozola and her colleagues made an interesting discovery as they looked at their findings. It seems that when the test subjects stared at the safety signal, it dampened the growing anxiety that was sparked by the first shape. Not only that, but the scan results also highlighted a significant scientific breakthrough. Alongside the treatments we mentioned earlier, exposure therapy is a technique that's also used to fight anxiety. For those who take part in that particular method, a certain neural network in their brain comes to life. Incredibly though, the safety signal technique saw the activation of an alternative pathway, suggesting that it worked. Exposure-based therapy relies on fear extinction, G told the website. And although a safety memory is formed during therapy, it's always competing with the previous threat memory. This competition makes current therapies subject to the relapse of fear. But there's never a threat memory associated with safety signals. So with that in mind, the safety signals technique could be seen as a viable option in the future, joining the other established medical methods. G is certainly hopeful of that because she's not too sure about a couple of the aforementioned treatments. And her thoughts on the matter didn't end there. To conclude the interview with Yale News, G admitted that she was looking at the bigger picture regarding anxiety treatment. She added, "Both cognitive behavioral therapy and antidepressants can be highly effective, but a substantial part of the population does not benefit sufficiently, or the benefits they experience don't hold up in the longer term, meaning safety signals could be a treatment of the future for this group of disorders." The world is filled with stories going viral every single day. But how many of these sites can you actually follow? We understand that your day should start with positive stories, stories that resonate with you. And so we started JoJo Stories. Our mission is to create meaningful stories that cover everything from animals to anthropology, history to environment and lifestyle. The kind of content you read on our site will be one you'll want to share with your family and friends. We hope you'll join our growing family and be part of our community. Welcome to JoJo Stories, jojostories.com.